Hello and welcome to Security Weekly News. I am not Dr. Doug. I know, I look just like him, but actually I'm much better looking. What can I say? Dr. Doug is unfortunately at Zero Trust World, which he will tell us about when he gets back, or I will smack him a few times. And Aaron is apparently in jury duty. So I bet Dr. Doug's having a much better time. Anyway, welcome to Security Weekly News, where today we're going to be talking about everything from AI, compliance, security, AI, and some more AI, along with DOGE and various other government agencies. Breaches galore and, well, everything you can think of. Welcome to Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News. Imagine a world where every threat, ransomware, supply chain attacks, zero-day exploits, is stopped before it can even begin. ThreatLocker makes that world a reality with a zero-trust approach to cybersecurity. By giving you granular control on every executable that can happen in your environment, ThreatLocker protects your business around the clock. No more guessing, no more gaps, just rock-solid protection that keeps your operations running smoothly and your data secure. Discover how ThreatLocker's least privilege approach can safeguard your organization against known and unknown threats. Take the first step toward total peace of mind. Visit securityweekly.com/ThreatLocker today.
Welcome back to Security Weekly News, being filmed on February 18th, 2025. This is episode 452. I do have a wonderful announcement for you. Security Weekly listeners save $100 on their RSA Conference 2025 full conference pass. RSA Conference is taking place April 28th to May 1st in San Francisco and on demand. I don't know if they ever did on demand before, but that's really cool. To register using our discount code, please visit securityweekly.com/RSAC25. Okay, and use the code 5U5 SecWeekly. I have no idea what 5U5 stands for. Maybe it's 5 times 5, it's 25th? Not sure. We hope to see you there. We're going to have a whole slew of Security Weekly people there, reporters interviewing people. You could potentially get interviewed if you're lucky and wandering around. We'll see. Anyway, welcome to Security Weekly News. Let's get started. I have a lot of stories today, and a lot of these stories, weirdly enough, I swear to you, it wasn't deliberate, are about AI and all the different things and parts and parcels of AI. Now, I'm going to start us off by explaining a little bit about AI. Now, I'm sure you know quite a lot about it, but I want you to understand my point of view. My point of view is that AI is incredibly useful. It's wonderful for collating information and correlating information. However, there's one thing that, as listeners of Security Weekly News, so presumably you know a little bit about this stuff, you have to understand and communicate to everybody around you. It's not magic. Unfortunately, a lot of people believe it's magic, so you'll hear that in some of these stories, but I want you to keep that in mind. All right, let's get started. So first off, AI is now being used. There's a new product out there to summarize depositions. I mean, if I want my news stories or an email summarized, that's one thing. But you want a legal document summarized by an AI? Sure, sounds like a plan. So they're doing this in order to make it faster and more efficient. I think it's probably going to do just the opposite. Whenever you have a deposition, I'm actually an expert witness. I've testified in front of the Turkish Supreme Court and various other courts. Every word you say is scrutinized by lawyers. So why would a summary be good? Maybe they just wanted to say, okay, don't bother with this person's whatever. I am not entirely enthralled with this idea, if you can tell. Okay, I think that it's going to cause some significant problems. I think it's going to cause detail and nuance to be lost. So, subtext is, I think it's 96% of all communication is in subtext. Now, deposition results are printed, so you lose a lot of subtext and a lot of nuance. But still, it's uncomfortable that they're using AI to do this unless they use a lawyer to oversee, or someone who actually understands this stuff to oversee. Even in that case, you might as well just not have it summarized. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next big thing in tech, cloud compliance and scale. They actually had a really good article about this. A whole group of Indian technologists, executives, keyboard warriors, as well as CEOs and COOs got together and they talked about what's the next big thing, what's going to happen over the next few years in technology and cybersecurity. And they came up with some very, very sensible answers. And it's that cloud being done in a compliant and secure fashion at scale. The amount of data our systems are handling is growing on a incredibly fast basis. If you haven't realized that your storage area networks are growing by anywhere from 50 to 300% per year, well, you're not checking your stats. And so what we have to do is we have to understand that when we handle data at scale, it's very different than handling data manually. And when we do that, we have to do it in a compliant, secure way. And these days, most everybody's doing it in the cloud. Why? Well, it's more flexible. It's more easy to spin up. Well, we all know the arguments for and against cloud. Cost is really the only big argument against it. And I've also seen actually some people taking their things out of the cloud because they're fearing that the cloud providers, the cloud service providers, will actually utilize your data to feed their AI. Because which cloud service provider doesn't have an AI? Oh, let's see. GCP is Google, AWS is Amazon, and Azure is Microsoft. All of them have their own AI. So are they using your data to feed it? They'll tell you no. I won't say they're wrong out loud. Anyway, but these Indian technologists did a really good point. They said, look, we're handling data at scale. We're connected to everybody more than we ever are before. So we're using APIs to do that. Who's watching the APIs? Well, API security should be a big part of this. And as Dr. Doug will tell you when he gets back from Zero Trust World, API security is incredibly important. So we have to understand as practitioners and as executives that we need to be able to handle data at scale, interconnections with data sharing partners, and that we need to be able to do it in a secure and compliant environment. Well, okay, so what's new about what they said? Realistically, it's just that they put it all together. And so I think they did a great job, and I honestly think that article's a fantastic one. All right, let's keep going. I love that. I swear to God, I have so many AI articles, and it wasn't deliberate. Just when I put the articles together, they just showed up in my news feeds like crazy. So this one's about AI enhancing threat intelligence. Now, this I like. If I have a threat intelligence, who here has worked in a SOC? I mean, we all have, let's be honest. And when you're in a SOC, you're looking at, hey, this IP address or this CVE or this whatever, I need to find out more about it. 75 tabs later, you find out more about it. And when somebody says, okay, summarize, you're like, let me go through all 75 of those tabs. So this is a system where they're using AI to enhance CVEs, CVSS scores, vulnerabilities, etc., by collating, correlating, and just putting everything in one place. That's awesome. That's what AI is good for. That's what you should be doing, in my not so humble opinion. So if you want to use AI to enhance threat intelligence, great. This is a fantastic use for it. That whole deposition thing, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so AI is putting this in context. You should have a CAASM, which is a cybersecurity asset attack surface management, otherwise known as an asset inventory. Okay. And if you correlate your vulnerabilities, your threats, your risks, everything against your assets, against what you have, your information, as well as your technology, and ask the AI to show me a diagram of where the worst problems are and where the things that I need to fix now and so on and so forth, this is an appropriate use of it. So again, I like this article. Please go ahead and read this. This is article number 3. And I think that you would have a really good time understanding this and utilizing it in your day-to-day world. Okay. So, but the interesting thing is, if the AI is so helpful, why are AI involved in so many breaches and so much cyber criminal research and so on and so forth? Well, it's because the cyber criminals think that the AI can make them more efficient too. Well, I mean, everybody strives for efficiency, even cyber criminals. Since AI came out, they've been writing phishing emails. And since AI came out, they've been doing phishing phone calls and video calls and everything else. I mean, this is where deepfakes come from to a certain extent. I know AI isn't deepfake, but they do correlate and they do help each other out. So if you've got AI and you've got AI taking data from your cloud service providers from everywhere they can. I mean, if you go on huggingface.co, You'll see data sets. You're like, how did they get that data set? There are people that all they're doing all day is scraping websites for data sets. It's unbelievable. All right. So, I mean, the AI, can they be used for hacking? Can they be used for cyber criminal behavior? The answer is yes, but it's less than you would think. Again, they're good at collation. They're good at correlation. They're not the best at actually planning attacks. They're more shotgunning. They're throwing attacks out there and seeing what works. The only good thing about that, or from a cyber criminal point of view, is that they can shotgun this in such a huge scale because they can just have it do it against everything. Ooh, okay, so that's a problem. This is sort of like a skitty attack. Think of an AI as a skitty on steroids. The script kiddies are just throwing stuff out there and seeing what works. Well, an AI can do it on such a scale that it's unbelievable. Is that going to cause problems for people? Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're not doing the fundamentals, if you're not doing the table stakes stuff, asset inventories, information inventories, firewalls, some semblance of a perimeter, and not just a perimeter, but crunchy all the way through, not crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside, then you're going to get smacked by some of these things. And so we have to be careful. And again, back to the APIs, we have to watch our APIs. We have to watch all of our entry points. We can't forget about technology. Who remembers the Heartland payment breach? And you had that FTP system that, we forgot about that. Can't do that anymore, people. Okay, so table stakes stuff, fundamentals. I know I'm old, I'm bald, I'm a curmudgeon, but do the fundamentals, please. Okay. How about AI data breaches? Story number 5 in the show notes, which, by the way, if you don't know this, you can go to the show notes and it has all of our stories, all of our links, a couple of notes about them. Please use them. Okay. Show them to your executives. Say, look, I can get good information. You should see the show notes for Paul's Security Weekly. They're unbelievable. We do a pretty good job here at Security Weekly News as well. We're a much shorter show. But the AI data breaches are going on. What's an AI data breach? Is that an AI stealing data? Well, sort of. It's an AI losing data that it's been given, that the data may have been legitimate or illegitimately gotten. Huh? So the problem is that, remember I said that those people are scraping websites for data sets to feed into AI? Yeah, some of those data sets are not legal for them to have. If they're not legal for them to have, then if you use it in an AI, does that mean the output of the AI is illegal? And what if the AI loses the data and it's a data breach, but it's data that it wasn't supposed to have in the first place? Oh, this hurts my head. Let me just put it this way. The only people that are going to make money out of this in a very large scale are going to be the cloud service providers that are using data that they have to feed AI and the lawyers that are going to litigate these cases. It's going to be ugly for a very long time. So we'll see what happens. But AIs having data that they can legitimately or illegitimately have and then losing that data, being breached, the numbers are going through the roof. So if you have an AI that you're using for your corporate identity, your corporate work or whatever, and you have data in there that could be problematic if released, can I recommend that you have a security check done on that? Just a thought. It's not a big deal, everybody. So I wanted to switch off of AI just for, never mind, I can't. I have another AI story. It's slightly different though. So there's a firm that brought out a remote mobile data collection and analysis with no agent needed. Okay, how does this work? So if you're a lawyer or you have a legal case or, in litigation hold, hey, grab that phone from them. It's on litigation hold, lock this data, whatever, that kind of thing. We're all familiar with it. Well, if I need that phone, I need to collect the data off the phone, an image of the phone, an image of the laptop, an image of the whatever. This platform is stating that they, without installing an agent, can reach out and do a remote data collection of the phone. The person holding the phone has to give consent. But if it's a corporate phone, they pretty much have to give consent. And so they can do a remote data collection, pull the entire image of the phone off without an agent, which I find incredulous, but okay, whatever. And then do an analysis of it with AI. And there's where the AI comes in. So you've got a system that will pull the data, collect the data, analyze the data, and give you a summary. I mean, in one sense, it's really cool because this is a great way to not have to pull all the phones in, not have to pull all the data in, not have to pull everything in, and you still get an analysis of the collected data. That's incredibly cool. There's a lot of good stuff about that. The problem here is that Have you done it with a write blocker? Oh, well, we write block everything. Okay, well, until I check, I don't believe it. And is the analysis done by an AI who's as skilled as, well, not necessarily me, but as skilled as a real good forensic analyst these days? I used to be a good one. I don't keep up with it, so I don't claim to be anymore. So it's a lot of questions about the competence. And if you'll notice, this is an ongoing thread throughout this entire day, this entire broadcast. Yeah. Is the AI system competent at what you think it is? It's not magic. If you didn't train it for this, it may not be. So when you ask an AI to do something, please make sure you know what you're asking it to do, and please make sure that you check that it knows how to do it and that it's consistent in doing so. Yes, this is a continuing thread, and there's a theme here. I apologize. So is this a good idea to have this system in your workplace? Probably, no problem. Okay. It's a very valid way to do remote mobile data collection. And I know it would have been a godsend back when I was doing this stuff, because I once had to travel cross country to literally grab a phone, plug it into a laptop with a write blocker, perform the data collection, turn around 3 hours later, hop on a plane and fly back. Not even a joke. I don't even know how many thousands of dollars and, well, at least 1.5 days of my time were wasted by doing this, but it was necessary. So the phone couldn't be taken away from this person and they couldn't fly in. So I flew out. Yay. It was so much fun. Twitch. I got to have lunch at San Francisco Airport. Actually, it was pretty good, but that's beside the point. They used to have a really good sushi restaurant at San Francisco Airport terminal. I forget which terminal. Sorry. So, all right, let's move on. The San Francisco Airport story was extraneous. I apologize. So Zhong, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Stealer. This is a great article. I really wanted to get off of AI. I was like, please let me get off of AI. But Zhong Stealer is a new piece of malware that's been really well diagrammed by the people at, what is the name of the company? AnyRun. And they did a beautiful, beautiful article ripping this thing apart. And I thought it was really cool. It's a theft malware or stealer malware. It tries to steal your credentials, your host name, that's not a big deal, but they try to steal anything they can out of the memory. And they try to get everything out of your computer. So they break down this Zhong Stealer. It actually, it spreads by being compromised packages from like Zendesk and other support systems. So technical support reps will download it thinking, oh, it's the latest update from Zendesk. And then they, once they install it, it then goes out to all of the people that they interface with and that they remote into. Really cool idea and a great way to do a supply chain attack. Yay, I hate supply chain attacks so much. So the thing is that this piece of malware spreads out, has remote command and control C2 servers in the Alibaba cloud in China. It's mostly simplified Chinese characters naming all the modules. So it's probably Chinese of origin. Just a thought. Okay. But it does a really good job at stealing your credentials for any services you log on to, stealing your username and password and other credentials, as well as passkeys, by the way, is what they're saying, in various other services. So I'm not saying that this is something everybody should watch out for. It does appear to be targeted at fintech and cryptocurrency people. Of course, cryptocurrency more. But it's a really well done breakdown of this piece of malware. And I think it's a fascinating thing to show your threat intelligence team, your SOC analysts. I think they really would appreciate this kind of thing. So please grab the article and spread it around your SOC. Okay. The analysts will enjoy it. And any of the training people there will have a great time with it as well. So, there was one piece. I did mention Alibaba Cloud. It just spreads to Android. It spreads to all everywhere. And it's great because they use such generic names for everything. So, it's actually really well done in terms of just hiding in plain sight. But there's a C2 server. Oh, it's Hong Kong hosted by Alibaba Cloud. Sorry. But Hong Kong these days is not British anymore. It is Chinese. Yes, I think I just revealed I'm old because I think of Hong Kong as British still. But it's really interesting. It inventories itself. Then it downloads any components it's missing. So even if it's corrupted, it'll download the proper components for itself. There's basically checks and balances in this thing. It's amazing. So it's a really good piece of malware. I know that sounds weird. I apologize, but it's interesting stuff. send this to your SOC. And, I had a story earlier about this Indian technologist that got together and how they said that scalability, security, compliance, API security, that these are the things they came up with. Well, apparently Intelligent CISO did the exact same thing. So, cohesity, there's a lot of people that say the same thing and they're totally separated. So what does that mean? Have you ever heard of the concept of steam engine time? No? Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about it for a second. Steam engines were invented thousands of years ago. All right. There's actually a famous one where you have a bulb and it has arms that come off and they're bent, and you put a flame below it. And as it boils, it sends out steam, and it because the pipes are bent, when the steam comes out, it accelerates it around and it rotates. That's kind of a steam engine, pretty primitive. But they didn't do anything with them for a long time until all of a sudden, I believe in the 1800s, 3 or 4 different groups came out with steam engines at exactly the same time. Wait, but I thought somebody invented the steam engine, the modern version of it. Yeah, actually, no. There were several groups that came out with the steam engine at almost exactly the same time. They didn't even know each other. They had no connection to each other. Okay, well, so we call that steam engine time. In other words, it is time for this idea to erupt. And so this idea erupts sometimes simultaneously and independently from each other. So in steam engine time, it appears that we are seeing across the world, Indian as well as American, that scalability, security, and compliance are the factors that are going to make the next big thing in tech. Okay. So what does that mean? Does that mean that I need to be prepared to scale my product up to exabytes of data? Not necessarily. But overall, products that are not built to scale, products that are not built to be secure, and products that are not built to be compliant are going to fall behind. This appears to be the new table stakes. Not just the fundamental pieces of patch your stuff and watch your perimeter, but which is still valuable, don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing it, but also security, scalability, and compliance are the new table stakes for any product that wants to make it big. Okay, how's that work? Should I comply to everything? Should I comply to one thing? Well, it depends. What vertical are you in? And if you pick your compliance standards carefully, and if you watch over your security and actually build it in, not bolt it on, and if you build to handle big data, then just possibly your product could go big. So this includes things like zero trust for API security. That's how we handle scalability. Compliance. Are you NIST compliant? Are you CMMC compliant? Where are you compliant with? And are you showing maturity of that compliance? As well as security. Are you showing security of the maturity of your security? And, the discussions about what is a secure or what is a mature security program and what is a mature compliance program and what is a proper scalability system. Man, those discussions can go on for a long time, and I actually enjoy having them. Please yell if you want to have one. It's not a problem at all. But that's the kind of topics that are going to bring products into the big times, and where go-to-market people as well as product developers should be thinking. So for our last story, it's not a political story. It is, however, a story about a breach. What would Security Weekly News be without a story about a breach? Apparently, the DOGE website, their new website from a few days ago, may have leaked information about the National Reconnaissance Office. And classified data was alleged to have been leaked. And as such, this is inappropriate and improper if that was in case true. And so it's, and I can neither confirm nor deny that the National Reconnaissance Office actually exists or that classified data was leaked. But if it does exist, and if it was on this website, and if it was leaked, boy, that's a problem. Shows that maybe some of the people in these organizations need to learn how to build websites properly, with security, compliance, and scalability. I mean, these are the new table stakes, aren't they? I'm just saying. So without Aaron here and without Dr. Doug here, I think we're going to call it a day for now. Thank you for watching Security Weekly News, or listening if that's what you're doing. See you on Friday.